You're probably wondering, Nick or Solkier, why did you just bother to just start reviewing this game just out of fucking nowhere? Just you talk about comic books all the time. Why did you just go into this? Last winter, I had this RPG group that it fell apart for various reasons. I mean, we were playing 40K. That's not one of the reasons that it fell apart, because 40K is awesome. But some of the players didn't really get the setting. Others didn't get the whole role-playing thing. And the game master was in the process of trying to find a new apartment. So it's one of those times where really life just got in the way. So for a while after that, I'd been looking for a new role-playing group, because I really, really like RPGs. I mean, as an actor, it's like the closest thing I can get to like an acting game. It's very much like an improv exercise in a way, because there's no script. It's just you gotta off the cuff respond to events as they are described to you. I'm a big fan. I like it a lot. So one day, when I was in my local comic shop, I start talking to this guy about all manner of things. How Otto Octavius is objectively a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker, and eventually he mentions how he's running this role-playing group. I say, dude, I've been looking to join a new group for like ever. And he says, oh, well, would you like to join us? I say, of course, that'd be great, thanks. And he asks, do you know anything about Fatal? I say no, because I don't know what that is. I didn't know what that was at the time. And he says, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'll roll up a character for you, and we'll integrate you into the game, and you'll learn as you go. So I'm super excited, because I haven't played a game in months, and I just want to get back out there. It's going to be great. When I get to their apartment for the game, the first thing I notice, the whole place smells like wet dog, which was weird because in the entire time I was there, did not see a single dog. So I don't know what the fuck is up with that. The guy who invited me, his wife answers the door. And I get inside, I find that there's two other guys that I haven't met yet. The guy who invited me, who is the MAME master, because in Fatal, they, instead of a dungeon master or a game master, they have a MAME master. So you can see it's an exceedingly clever play on words. And his wife is playing with us as well. So everyone goes around and starts introducing their characters, for my benefit. One of them is a dwarf. His character is a dwarf, and not the player. And I believe the accepted nomenclature is little people in that instance. Which, I never really understood, because that sounds a lot worse to me personally than dwarf. It just sounds very condescending. It's like, oh no, he's not a midget or a dwarf. He's a little person. Like, that, I don't know. It sounds like something you would call a child. It sounds very insulting to me personally. But, I am an average-sized person. I'm 5'10". So it's like, I don't really have any frame of reference. I mean, if there are any people of an unusually small size among my viewership, please let me know in the comments, what the deal is with that, because I honestly have no idea. So one of the characters is a dwarf, and the player explains to me how he has a penis like a tuna can. It's very short but thick, like very big, think around. I didn't understand his desire to explain that to me until the MAME master's wife explains about how her elf is flat-chested but has inch-long nipples. Now, it was at this point that I decided to look at my character sheet, which it's way over there. I'm not gonna go and find the right page. and find that there's all these different, there's a whole table for sexual characteristics. Naturally, the first thing I look at is penis size because, I'm not much of a man, but I'm still technically male. Apparently, my character's penis was 9 inches long, flaccid, but it was only about an inch in diameter. So, there's that, I guess. And then the other player left was the Anakim. Now, if you remember, an Anakim is like a tiefling from Dungeons and Dragons, or for those of you who don't get that reference, it's basically the result of a demon that mated with a human woman and produced a child. And it's all demonic and shit. Now, the difference between tieflings and Anakim is that when you're an Anakim, you roll for a certain number of random traits. Like this guy ended up with one that left him with a 5-foot dick. That's 5 feet, not inches, by the way, just so we're clear. And the other one was that all babies within a certain radius of him just spontaneously started to cry. And if he ever touched them, they would immediately piss, shit, and vomit all over themselves. Immediately, I was really uncomfortable at this point. It's like, but those of you who know me know that I am incredibly, like, I have like severe social anxiety. So I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do, how to get out of this. Because I don't want to explain why I'm leaving, because it might not make sense to other people, but I agonized over it. So it's like I basically just decided, okay, I'm gonna play this one game with them and then never answer their calls again. I've never come back because this is already, I've got a bad feeling about this. So we get into the game, and the first thing that happens was we're walking down the road and we come across a group of bandits that are attacking these pilgrims. And these aren't like buckle-on hat first Thanksgiving pilgrims. These are just like begging priests that travel from town to town. So we go to fight off the bandits, and this is the point where I learn that the combat system in Fatal is just completely fucking broken. And if you ever hit someone even once, they're basically dead. I found this out when I botched my initiative roll and one of the bandits just immediately gutted me on the spot. So, less than 10 minutes into the first game, my character is lying dead on the ground, his intestines are over there. Yeah, that just fucking happened. The other players had been playing longer than I had, so they had better weapons, better armor, so it didn't take them all that long to, kill the rest of the bandits. And they slipped me this healing potion that, and put my insides back inside, and it brought me back up to full health. Now, this is where things got a little out of control. The rest of the party, since they had, they put themselves at great personal risk defending these priests, demanded compensation. They'd spent their expensive healing potion to save my character. So it was like, those things don't grow on trees. Let's, give us your money. And these are just a bunch of begging brothers. They're like the sparrows from the Song of Ice and Fire books. They have nothing. So the party decides to take their payment in another way. I think you know where I'm going with this. The dwarf grabs one of the priestesses, or was she a nun? There's no Christianity in Fatal, so I guess a nun wouldn't exist. But I can't imagine that a woman would be able to rise to the same level of authority as a man in this game. But whatever, I'll just say priestess. He grabs one of the priestesses, and he just tries to rape her. So, this is where the vaginal circumference rules came into effect. If you'll remember, the dwarf has a very, it's not short, it's not long, it's very short, but it's thick. It is the tuna can size. That was actually a very good description. So the priestess, she can't handle this. His penis exceeds her vaginal circumference potential. So the DM goes into this whole monologue describing how she rips and her two orifices effectively become one, which, okay, that is not how biology works. That is how biology works in the mind of a rape-obsessed narcissist. It's just fucking horrific. So, he goes into details about how she's screaming and begging him to stop. I don't know how, I did not know how to handle that. Then, all of a sudden, a baby starts crying. In the game. Not in real life, thank the gods. Like, these people cannot be in charge of children. And naturally, our Anakin character runs over and grabs it, and it immediately voids itself all over the place. And then he tries to fuck it. And as I said before, he's got a 5 foot... His dick is longer than the baby. So, naturally, he exceeds the baby's anal circumference potential, and instead of just being torn apart, it dies. And he's wearing this baby on his dick like a condom that you would buy at a Gwar show. This is when the... Oh my gods, just looking back at it, it's like I can't... This is the point where I feel like I could have left and it would be justified. But at this point, the priests, they weren't going to stand for it anymore. They started to attack the party. And, I thought that since I have a sword, I'd have the advantage against the guy who's just fighting me barehanded. Obviously not. Because I botch my attack roll to hit him, and he wrestles me to the ground. Now, as you might remember, there's a random 20-sided die roll to determine what the person who instigates the wrestling roll does to the target. And there's a 1 in 20 chance that he will rape the target, and he did. So, yeah, he just pulls out his dick and starts raping my character, and no one else tries to stop this. The other players just like, ha, isn't he a little too old for you, father? And go back to killing the priests that they're fighting. And again, apparently this is a priest that just had a massive monster dick. And he exceeds my character's anal circumference potential, and and my character dies. He just fucking dies again. And the other players mop up the rest of the priests because they're a bunch of unarmed, holy men, and these are a bunch of assholes with swords and plate mail. And they smear the blood on their dicks, and they just start DPing the Main Master's wife's character. Oh, and she is in no way upset by anything that has just happened. She's all like, ah, yeah, grab some of their shit and rub it on my chest. And I can't fucking stand this anymore. This is disgusting. These people are insane, and this is the most vile, hateful gaming experience of my entire life. So I get up, I grab my things to storm out, and I turn around and I just yell, "Who are you people?" And they respond, "The aristocrats!"